Hi and welcome to episode 36 of Tales of Yarnia. My name is Hannah and I'm coming to you from Cheltenham in the UK, which is where I live with my other half Jimmy and our yellow Labrador Jonah. Thank you so much for giving my podcast a try if you're viewing for the first time. And if you've come back after seeing previous episodes, thank you so much for coming back. I really, really appreciate it. This is a podcast, if you're not already aware, all about knitting, occasionally crochet, some spinning. We have got a little bit of spinning today to show you. And it's just generally about any crafty things that I get up to. So social media wise, you can find me as Yarnia Designs pretty much everywhere. I'm on Instagram as Yarnia Designs, and I'm also on Ravelry as Yarnia Designs, where I also actually sell my knitting pattern designs. So make sure to go check those out if you're interested. Okay, so that's a little bit of a spiel. So first thing I wanted to show you is actually what I'm wearing. And I'll just stand up a little bit. This is my first garment design. So it is a knitted t-shirt with this lace panel at the bottom, and then you also have a little bit of lace on the sleeves as well. It's drop shoulder and quite loose fitting. I quite like the style of this sort of top. This pattern is not out yet. However, it is currently in testing and I am hoping to release it in August. That's about as far as I've got at the moment. I just want to make sure my testers have got enough time to finish it, and that as many sizes as possible are ready to go before I release it. So yes, it's all quite exciting. The yarn I used for my sample is Travel Knitter, and I think I've forgotten what the colourway is. I know it's like on her 100% merino base, which is now discontinued. I can't remember what the colourway is. It might be English Damson? Can't remember. The colourway, I found it, is called Brambleberry. And incidentally, I was actually thinking of calling it something to do with bramble. I asked my previous episode for any name suggestions, and one person came back with bramble, which I really like the idea of. So I'm not sure whether to just call it the bramble tea. One idea I actually had was brambleberry, which now I realise was the name of the colourway. So I don't think I can really call it that. I was thinking sort of like brambles and thorns. Brambles, I don't know. Thorns and berries. If you can think of anything along those lines, let me know. This is the t-shirt design. It's my first garment design. Let me know what you think. I'm excited to get it released for you all, but I'm just making sure that everything is tested properly and that it's all ready to go. So moving on, I have got a couple of FOs to show you this time. Let me just have my drink. I'm drinking a cold drink today just because it's been quite warm recently. And this is just some sparkling rhubarb flavoured water. Very refreshing. So, a couple of FOs. There's been a lot of sock knitting going on here. So the first FO is actually a new design that is out, and let me just make sure these have not got too much Jonah hair on them. Yeah, they're okay, I think. And these are the Megan socks. So you can hopefully see it is quite difficult to see the pattern in this dark. It's quite difficult to capture it. Camera. Hopefully you can see that. It's sort of like a twisted rib lace section. It looks like it's cables, but it's not. It's actually just lace in the ribbing, and then there's a little bit of a honeycomb section there. So yeah, these are now released. They are the Megan socks. It is the third and final pattern in the Mad Men sock collection, which I was creating, and each pattern I created used a skein of yarn from the Beehive Yarns Mad Men Club colorways. Yeah, so each one was a different club colorway by Beehive Yarns from the start of this year. So if you think back, there was the Peggy socks. I should have brought them all down to show you, but there were the Peggy socks, the Betty socks, and then now these are the Megan socks. And I've created an ebook on Ravelry so that you can buy all 3 patterns for just the price of 2 patterns. So I think it was, I can't remember how much. I think if you're in the UK, I think it's £9 including tax. Because I have to figure out how much it's going to be including the tax. I find it pretty confusing. But yes, so all 3 patterns are available in the ebook, and you basically just pay the price for 2 sock patterns, and you sort of get 1 free. So that's what I've organised on there. I can't remember where these sock blockers were from, I'm afraid. Sometimes I do get questions about these, and they were a present from my mum, and she got them from an Etsy shop, which I think was in Ukraine. But I can't seem to find the shop. I've tried looking, but I can't find it. Sorry. But yeah, I do really like these sock blockers. So yeah, that was the first FO. And the next FO is also a pair of socks. And these are just a pair of vanilla socks. These are on my bunny stitch markers? Sock blockers. Not even close to stitch markers. Little bunnies. And these were from the Knitting Shed, and I bought these at the Unravel Festival this year. But the yarn, it's just vanilla socks, and the yarn I've used was I think it was a Mystery Club colourway by the Fawn and the Fox. I think she is now called the Fawn Knits on Instagram. I don't know if she dyes yarn anymore since having a baby. But she's now called the Fawn Knits on Instagram. And yeah, this is the only skein I've ever bought from her. I think she's based in Canada, so I tend not to buy too many items from abroad because we get hit quite badly with customs fees over here, so you end up paying twice what you would have paid for something in the UK. Like if you'd ordered just like 1 skein of yarn from the UK, you'd end up paying twice that if you order it from America and Canada or outside of the EU, as long as we're part of the EU. I'm not going to get started on Brexit. That's too confusing. But anyway, I don't order many things from outside of the EU at the moment because we get hit so bad with customs fees. So that's the short version of the story. But I really do love this colourway. And it's on an MCN base as well. Which I don't normally knit socks out of MCN. Sorry, that's merino, cashmere and nylon. But I just thought this colourway had to be socks. So I have used a heel called the New Depths heel, and that's by Becky Sorensen, who is known as Soprano Knits, and I think she is the host of the Stringing It Together podcast on YouTube. And yeah, I just like this heel. It's a short row heel, and it's very good for people who've got like a high arch or high instep. She does 3 different sizes. I find it works a lot better for me than an afterthought heel. So yeah, I just thought that worked quite nicely with the sort of stripy. It's sort of like a stripy yarn. I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised with how this was working out, because it has sort of created a little bit of a stripe, which I didn't expect at all. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with these. They're just like a really fun pair of vanilla socks, and I think these are probably going to be for me, just because the yarn is so special. So yeah, that's my second FO. And I've now got a couple of whips to show you, 2 of which are socks. So I've got a little bit sock mad at the moment, which ties in well for Sock Cow, which is being run by Nikki, who is Hippie Nikki on Instagram and Ravelry, I think. And her podcast is Tea and Possibilities on YouTube, and she's running, I think it's the Summer of Socks Cow. So that ties in quite well. So the first one I'll show you is something which, I forgot to say, we've been quite busy seeing a lot of family over the last couple of weeks since I last saw you. And we went on holiday to Wales to celebrate my grandparents' diamond wedding anniversary, which is amazing that they've been together that long. And yeah, it was really, really lovely to see all of the family together. And yeah, we had a really, really lovely time. So I wanted to cast on just a pair of vanilla socks, just something that was going to be easy to knit on when everyone was around and I wouldn't have to think too much about it. So they are living in this gorgeous bag, which was a gift from my lovely friend Claire, who is Bird Street UK, and she's also one of the dyers behind Mr. B's yarn. And living in here, I decided to cast on a really special self-striping ball of yarn, which I'd been hoarding and waiting for a special occasion to cast on. And I thought, well, I'm going to be on holiday, so why not cast on this self-striping by Twisted Limone. And it's got 12, I think it's got 12 different colours in the striping sequence. And some of them you can sort of see are variegated, some of them are more tonal. But it is really, really fun the way it's working up. So I'm on the first sock. And this one I'm doing toe up construction. I've been switching between toe up and cuff down construction recently, and it's just really funny that I do that. I don't really stick to just one. I like to mix it up a bit. It depends what mood I'm in, whether I want to start with ribbing or start at toe increases. So this is what I've got so far, and you can see these gorgeous stripes. So yeah, I've done, let's have a look. So up to here is one stripe sequence, one sequence of the stripes. And then it starts over again from there. I'll just try and show you up close. So I am now past the heel. I've used a different colour. I I've used some leftovers from my fading point, I think, for the heel. I just wanted like a purpley colour that fitted in with this. And this is, I think it's Leading Men Fibre Arts. I'm pretty sure the colourway is the Upside Down, which is a Stranger Things reference. And I do love Stranger Things, but I haven't watched the third series yet. Third season even. Because I have to wait to watch it with Jimmy, and he insists we should finish watching Game of Thrones first. We were really, really late to the party with Game of Thrones, and we've only just started watching. We started watching season 1 when the last season was airing, so we were super late to the party on that. But that means all the hype has died down, and we can just take our time and work our way through all of the seasons without worrying about people leaking spoilers and stuff like that. We just won't Google it at all. So we are now on season 6, I think. So we've been working our way through pretty quickly. That's pretty much all we've been watching. We have also been catching up on Black Mirror, but I don't think we're on the latest season of that either. So, yeah. We are just quite late with these things, but that's fine. So, yeah. Upside Down by Leading Men Fibre Arts. And it's like this. I really like that colourway. And I know I was just saying I don't order much from the US, but Jimmy actually brought that back for me when he was on a work trip a couple of years ago. So, it doesn't count. He was my yarn mule. I think he went to Chicago for work. He used to go every year, and I used to send him to the same yarn shop. I can't remember what it's called. Knit One in Chicago is where I used to send him. I've never been to Chicago myself, but I would love to go there one day. It's on my bucket list. So, yeah, this is how it is knitting up. I really, really enjoy just knitting around and around. I think I probably will keep these for myself, but I should be knitting more socks for other people so I can gift them at Christmas. But you've got to knit what makes you happy, haven't you? Oh, and my little progress keeper. I think this was by Sugar Tots. It's a little sleepy tea bag. Super cute. So, yeah. That is that. So yeah, don't think there's any more to say about that. Oh, I've used the same heel as on my other vanilla socks. And instead of doing an afterthought heel with self-striping, I'm doing the New Depths heel by Becky Sorensen. So yeah, I think that fits quite well with this. It just gives me a bit of extra room. You can sort of see it has slightly disrupted the stripe sequence, but not noticeably so. So one of the stripes is a little bit shorter, but it's not as disrupted as if I did a heel flap and gusset, and it will fit so much better than the afterthought heel, so it's a bit of a compromise. Anyway, really enjoying this. I did most of this whilst we were in Wales. Not done that very much since we got back, but we've been quite busy this last week with Jimmy's dad visiting from New Zealand, so that's been really fun. We've just been so busy with seeing people and doing things, and we've not really had that much time to knit, or not knit on anything substantial anyway. I've just mostly been knitting on socks because that's sort of easy to take with you when we go places. Okay. And then I'll change it up a bit. I'll show you something other than socks. I've got my shawl design is living in this lovely project bag, which was a gift from my friend Jan, who is the Faithful Sheep 19, I think, on Instagram. And she made this gorgeous bag, this pin, I think was from my friend Lydia, who is the Right Yarn. Pretty sure she didn't make the pin, but it was a gift from her. I'd forgotten where it was actually from. Yeah. Anyway, living in here is my shawl design using 3 different colours of yarn from the Yarn Lab UK, and they are actually a set in her shop, I think. I think it's called Midnight at the Observatory, this set. These are the 3 colours. I really, really love these. And the way they are knitting up is really, really fun as well. They smell really good. Okay, so I'll just keep the one ball out. It's getting way too big to show, really. Way too big. Oh my goodness. I'm just getting completely tangled. What has happened here? Oh, I see. Oh, I don't really know how to show you this. It's just gonna end up falling off the needles. This might be the only way I can show it to you. I'll try and stretch out the bottom so at least you can see one section of it. But because I've mostly been knitting on socks, I have not managed to do that much on it. Where's the progress keeper gone? It was around here somewhere. Can you see the little llama? That's where I was the last time I showed it to you, so I'm not a huge amount further. But I think I have increased quite a lot since the number of stitches since then, so each row takes quite a long time by this point. It will end up being a semicircle, like a half pie sort of shape shawl, I think. Hopefully, that's what I'm aiming for. I'll try and show you it a bit closer. So we've got loads of different stitch sections that sort of get repeated with each of the colours. So we've got a little bit of a mosaic knitting section there, then a bit of brioche on here, then we've got this lace panel, and then those 3 different types of stitches are repeated. So I'm on the 3rd lot of, I'm sort of technically 2/3, just over 2/3 through the length of the shawl, the height of the shawl, or the depth. Yeah, so I'm not making much sense, but up to there was about 2/3 of this depth, so it'll be quite deep, and this is before blocking, of course, so yeah, but it's kind of difficult to show without being so bunched up on the needles, but yeah, hopefully it'll turn out okay. And I think, yeah, I'm in the middle of a mosaic section at the moment. Right, I'm going to pop this away. Oh, maybe it would have been easier to show you like this. I really love the colours anyway, how they're working up. pretty. Right, so that's the shawl design. Does not yet have a name. I think I might wait till I've finished it and then think of a name. I'm finding the more designs I do, the harder I'm finding it to think of names for things. Oh. Right, well, just have another sip of my drink. And the last whip I'm going to show you is living in another bag, which is a gift from a friend. And this is the Socks for Dobby bag, which was a gift from my friend Kate for my birthday. And I believe the maker is QB's Not-for-Profit. It says it just in here. But I'll include a link because it's quite difficult. I found it quite difficult to find that shop on Etsy. So living in here is a new sock design. I'll just show you the yarn first. So I'll just show you the yarn first. This is Iron Bridge yarns. And I'm doing a collaboration for a sock design with the lovely Felicity Iron Bridge yarns. And this is her sparkle base. Can you see? Hopefully you can see the sparkle there. It's super sparkly. And I absolutely love it. And the colourway, I believe, is called St. Ives. Let me just get the full band. Yeah, it's St. Ives. And here is her label. And I don't know if I said at the beginning, I think I forgot to say, links to everything I talk about will be just down below in the show. That's where I put the show notes. So, yeah, Iron Bridge Yarn. It says Iron Bridge Yarn Studio on the label. I think on Instagram she's called Iron Bridge Yarns. And St. Ives is the colourway name. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Super summery. And I thought I have to make a design that links in with the ocean or the sea. And then I got thinking about mermaids. Just, I think because it was sparkly and the way it was, I did like a little swatch to see how it knitted up. And I've come up with a design that I'm thinking of calling something like Mermaid Lagoon or Mermaid's Tail. Not sure yet. But yeah, I'm doing this one cuff down just because of the way I want the stitch pattern to work. And yeah, this is the front of the sock. I hope you can see that okay. And on the back, I just thought that this stitch pattern made it look a little bit like ripples in water. Like in the sea, just sort of, I just thought it looked really pretty. And especially with the sparkle as well. So I don't know if I can show you this side on. I'm just going to steal a sock blocker, one of these. Just put it on this one. So yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, so that's the sort of side-on view of the sock so far. I thought it would just be really nice to have some texture, but keeping it fairly simple on the back, and then this simple lace design on the front, which I just think reminds me of mermaids' tails. I'll just show you it. There you are. This little progress keeper, I just thought coordinated really, really well. And it's a cute little dragon, which I got at Yarnia from the Corner of Craft. Lovely Hannah at the Corner of Craft. But I'll show you the other acquisitions at the end. So, yeah, look at him. He's so cute. And he's got a bit of sparkle as well. Yeah. Yeah, so it's my current sock design that I'm working on. And I'm really enjoying knitting these as well. I just love how this yarn is working up. It's super glittery and pretty. And super summery as well. So yeah, that's the sock design. I don't think there was anything else I've missed about that. Oh, and I tend to use hires for all my socks. I never really talk about the needles that I use, but I mostly use Shawl or hires. And for socks, I normally use hires. If it's for quite an intricate lace design, I normally use the hire sharps, but I have also got some non-sharp ones, just the normal hires, which have a green cable instead. But I find if I'm doing things that are quite intricate, I find it easier to use the sharp ones, just for it to be. I find it easier to pick up the stitches. But they aren't good if it's a splitty yarn. But this is not, so it's fine. Okay, so that's the last whip that I've got to show you. I haven't made any progress really on my Spectre sweater. I've just been a bit obsessed with socks. So yeah, it's all been socks. And just along that theme, I was going to show you a future sock whip. It's going to crinkle. Sorry. I've been feeling quite inspired lately, and I've got another idea for a sock design, and it'll be using little 10-gram mini skeins. And I've got an idea for a design using these 5 little 10-gram minis for some shorty socks. These are from Pixie Yarn. I picked these up at Flock. I think it was the one in June. Yes. They're just so pretty. So yeah, I've got an idea in my head for a sock design using little 10-gram minis. So really excited. I want to knit on all of the socks, but if I cast them on, I can only work on one sock at once. I really want to cast them on. It's too difficult. Anyway, I'm going to stop that crinkling. And I have actually got a little bit of spinning to show you today. So I've got one spin that I've finished, so one spinning FO, but it's still on the bobbin at the moment. It's been plied. I'll just try and show you. It is the John Arbon that I was spinning. It's getting a little bit blown out. That's a little bit more accurate. It's just it is quite a dark colour. Oh no. It's just so difficult to get the light. pretty accurate probably. I've forgotten what it's called. Can't remember, but it's John Arvin, and I reckon it'll probably turn out to be a sport weight, hopefully. I completely forgot that I was meant to have, I'd intended to wind this on to the niddy noddy and soak it and skein it up, and when I wind it onto the niddy noddy I will be able to count how many meters I've got and figure out what sort of weight of yarn it. So yeah, I spun this fairly thinly. I'm still kind of new to all the spinning lingo and correct terminology, but I don't really stick to one method when I'm spinning. I mostly do short draw, but I occasionally work a little bit on long draw. I just sort of change it up as I feel like doing something a little bit different. So it probably doesn't make the most consistent spin, but I don't really mind too much. And then I have plied it as a 2-ply. So that is blown out, but at least you can see. At least you can see how it's like the actual texture of what I've spun. And I did find the name of it, and then I laughed. Whoa, we've gone all funny colours here. It's the John Arvin Harvest Hues fibre, which is really, really reasonably priced, I thought. It's you get 100 grams of fibre and it's only £5. I don't know what that is in dollars, but it's only £5, which I thought was really reasonable. And this colour is called Bramble. So there's a bit of a theme in this episode, which I'm sure I will link into the title of the episode somehow. Everything is called Bramble. So, I don't know. It's just too much of a coincidence. I think I'm being brainwashed. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how this is spun up. But I did get quite bored by the end of just doing quite a consistent colour. My wheel is, I forgot to tell you if you're a new viewer, my wheel is an Ashford Kiwi 3. I got it in March for my birthday, and that's my first wheel. I only started spinning around February, I think, using a spindle, a couple of different spindles, and then I got my first wheel in March. And I really enjoy it. I go through phases of spinning and being really obsessed with spinning, and then I go off it for a while, and I'm like, no, I just want to do knitting and crochet blanket. But yeah, I'm kind of back on the spinning kick at the moment as well. So my current spin, I can't really show you what's on the wheel, but I will show you the fibre. So it's a bat from Spin City. I'll just show you. I sort of tore the entire thing in half. That's a little bit of a... So literally glitter goes everywhere with this. It's ended up all over the house, all over our clothes, all over the dog. This blue glitter everywhere. Right, so let me show you this. Right, so I sort of tore the entire thing in half, this bat. Just look at it. Isn't it beautiful? So I think the bottom is where I tore it across. Tore the entire thing in half. And well, that's what it looks like on the other side. Then I sort of stripped it into little strips and rolled them up into little nests like this. I sort of followed a couple of Mina of the Knitting Expat, a couple of her videos. I found those really helpful, figuring out how to prepare a bat for spinning. So some of the nests are a bit bigger. I think most of them are sort of this sort of size, a little nest like that. And then I just sort of like undo the nest and sort of pre-draft it a little bit, just to make it easier to spin. And yeah, so I've got lots of these little nests. So I tore it in half to ensure that I would have half of the fibre on each bobbin, and then I can do a 2-ply. I'm fairly comfortable just doing 2-ply at the moment. I don't want to do a 3-ply yet, partly because I'm not... This is the first time I've sort of spun with silk, I think. Not too sure. I have no idea what the content of this is, but there are some... Let's see if I can find some bits. Yeah, there's some of these silvery bits which are like really shiny and they feel a little bit more like hair. They're like a bit denser in places and less fluffy. They're very smooth. Yeah, there's a real sheen to them, and I'm not sure what that is. But then there's also these bits of glitter. That's the blue glitter that is literally all over our house. And Jonah, shush, quiet. I just love how it's spinning up. Maybe if I take the camera over to the wheel now, because it's in the same room. Ooh, hang on, you're gonna see the mess that we end up with when I'm filming. Right. Oh yeah, I balance the camera on these books. This is where Jonah lies. He's just been on a walk. Haven't you, Bubba? You good boy. Yeah. So he's all tired now. Right, so. And here is the wheel. And all of the... Well, this is where I keep most of the fibre. There's some other... These are the other colours I got from John Arbon Harvest Hues. I think this one is Blue Spruce. Kind of difficult to see when it's in the plastic. And this one might be called Barley. Oh yeah, it is. That one's called Barley. Really like that. So, there's my crochet blanket and a magic ball. There's Jonah's bucket of dog toys. So, and then these are my little scraps. I turn into magic ball and use for little bits. So this is what's currently on the wheel, and this is how much I've done so far. But I just think it's really, really fun how it's working up. Sorry if I'm moving quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a bad spinner, but I've left a little bit just dangling on here. But you can see how sparkly it is. So yeah, I just sort of like pre-draft it about this much. So it's just like a little thing like that. And I've just wound it around the, whatchamacallit. Everything on my spinning wheel is a whatchamacallit. It's, yeah, it's the thing that, it's the brake, isn't it? The thing that you, that keeps the tension on the brake here, goes around the bobbin to stop its, well, you can adjust how much you want the bobbin to be able to spin and move. But yeah, I really, really love how it's working out. So I'm just going to go back over here and then I can carry on talking and show you some of my acquisitions. Hang on, let me just put you back over here. How you were. Is that where you were? Hopefully. Anyway, I'm just going to put all these glitter things away. It's literally everywhere now. I don't know if I said this bat that I'm spinning, it was from Spin City UK, and I got it at Unravel. And I've got one more bat from them, which I'm also excited to spin. So I don't know what that colourway is called, like what it's called, but it reminds me of Tropical Fish, so I quite like that. So last weekend I went to Yarnia on the Saturday and I picked up quite a few goodies, and I'm just going to move them over here. So as we are currently on fibre, I'll show you the fibre which I picked up first. And I was so excited to finally meet Almus, who is Witchcrafty Lady on Instagram. And I finally got to meet her in person at Yarnia. Hers was one of the stalls I definitely wanted to go to. Because I'd seen she had some really cute mini skeins, and I think she sells hand spun as well. But she also dyes fibre, which I was really excited to see. And this is what I picked up from her booth. I want to keep it in this nice spiral to show you, because then you can see all of the colours. Don't want it to get too blown out. Oh, that's pretty accurate, I think. It may have some of the blue glitter on from the Spin City UK, but there shouldn't be any glitter on it. It's just, it literally gets everywhere from that thing. So, excuse me. Isn't it just beautiful? I absolutely love it. I really wanted something that was like quite light in colour with some neon, and this is just perfect. So I can't wait to spin this. I did take a picture of it to remember what the makeup of it was. I think it was Polworth. I'm pretty sure it was Polworth. But it's really soft and really squishy. It's like quite a bit of bounce to it. It's really, really nice. Look at these neon colours. She also had a bright neon pink, like this neon pink. The whole braid was like neon pink, and that just looked so fun. Like if you were planning a project and you wanted a couple of different colours, and one could be the neon pink, that would be really cool. But yeah, I was trying not to go too overboard, so I just picked up one. And I really, really love it. So yeah, I was super excited to get some fibre from her, and also to meet her in person. She's such a lovely lady. She was super friendly, and it was just really, really nice to meet her and have a bit of a chat about spinning. And yeah, so I met her on Saturday, and then it turned out on the Sunday she had a really horrible experience with Sockmatician, who turned up at the festival. You can read like the full story about what happened there. I think, who was it? Was it Geordie Knits? Sort of did the main posting about it on Instagram. And I think Almus, who's Witchcrafty Lady on Instagram, also posted about it, and quite a few other people. But a lot of people didn't actually see what happened, and I wasn't there on the Saturday. So there's been all sorts said about it, but I wasn't there. It's probably best to read Geordie Knit's Instagram posts, because I don't want to just direct you to Almus's profile, because she's been inundated with so many messages, and people need to respect her space. But yeah, so I was super happy to meet her, and I'm sorry I wasn't there on the Sunday to support her, because she's such a lovely lady, and she did not deserve to be like verbally and sort of like, yeah, she was like verbally attacked by Nathan, who is a sock mortician. I'm really surprised that he was there, actually. So I don't want to like go into detail, but obviously I want to support Almus, and I don't want to send too much traffic her way, because she's got so much to deal with already, and she's such a lovely lady. But yeah, it's probably best to read the stories of Geordie Knits. She was actually there at the festival and saw what happened, so she's the one to go and read the words of. I really, really enjoyed Yarningham. I was really disappointed and like sad to hear about what happened on the Sunday. It was the worst part, I think, was that, not the worst part, the thing that shocked me was that Nathan had showed up without explaining anything. Like, the last I think we'd heard on Instagram was that he was in hospital with stress from incidents that had happened in the week, and then the next we knew was he turned up doing classes and signing his books at Yarningham on the Sunday, and with no explanation or reassurance that his health was okay online. So yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, that he just turned up and just acting like nothing had happened, like he'd done nothing wrong, when he clearly made some pretty like big statements, and made some pretty damaging comments and statements about BIPOC on his Instagram posts. His Instagram has now been taken down, so we can't see the original, but I think there are screenshots available. I don't know whose accounts. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's not good, the way he's treated people. And there's still been no apology, unfortunately. I think the key thing, everyone makes mistakes, saying things, making statements about all this, all the events that are going on, and all the work we're doing to try and make a safer community. Lots of people make mistakes, but it's about owning up to them and making a conscious effort to do better and change. That is what enables us to move forward. And I think the key thing with Nathan is that he was unwilling to admit that he'd offended anyone, and that what he was saying was damaging to BIPOC. So it was just, I think that was the main reason that we were all like, well, that was one of the main reasons I was continually upset with him. I wanted him to do better and like come back from what he'd said after having some time to process and think and internalise what was going on, and just take a step back and think, well, all of these people are telling me that what I'm saying is wrong and is actually really, really offensive. But it's just, he was just not willing to change. I think everyone should be given the chance to reassess what they've said and have like a chance to think, what have I said here, and learn from it. But I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm not really saying this in a very coherent way this time. I hope that comes across okay. He was basically tone policing what the key members of the knitting community, the key women of colour who were doing the main work to make this community safer for people of colour. He was basically tone policing them and telling them that they were too aggressive, I think were the words that he used, too aggressive. And he was basically saying, can't we all just get along, sort of thing, and just completely missing the point. And yeah, he just wouldn't take any criticism on board. And his statement was very arrogant in that he thought he was above being criticised. And yeah, this has gone on long enough now. I'm gonna wind it up. So yeah, other than that horrible incident and the abuse that Almas was subjected to, I think other than that, Yarningham was an absolutely amazing festival, and it was really, really lovely to. It was like quite a small festival, and there were a lot of dyers, like mutiny makers and dyers, as well as some which I'd been looking out for to go and see, and I knew who were going to be there. But it was really nice to get like smaller businesses, a bit of a bigger platform to go and see. If you're not familiar, Yarningham is based in Birmingham in the UK, and it was a 2-day festival, and but you just go along for the day, and it was really, really lovely to get to meet lots of the makers who I'd only spoken to online. I met so many, and it was really, really lovely. I met Ishrat of Fruitful Fusion. Obviously met Almas. I met Hannah of Corner of Craft, and Kelly of Lay Family Yarn, who I didn't realise was going to be there actually. That was a surprise. Obviously I saw my friends John and Claire of Mr. B. So yeah, I had an absolutely lovely day. It was a really, really nice, slightly smaller festival, and it was spread out over a couple of different rooms. There was a lovely cafe, space to sit outside. It was really lovely. I had a really, really nice time. I'll just show you a couple of the other things I got. So I'm going to show you one so far. Right, so Mr. B's yarn. I definitely knew I wanted to get a skein of mohair in the fuzzy mauve colourway because I have a project in mind for this. I've got a skein of their Duchess colourway on fingering weight, which was given to me by Claire for a design. and I wanted to pair it with this gorgeousness, possibly for a hat. So, oh my goodness, there's blue glittery stuff on here as well. But yeah, this is just so pretty. Love this colour. So this is their Timberlake lace base, and it's 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. You get 50 grams and it's 840 meters. And it's just so soft and fuzzy. So I'm really excited to use that. And then the other thing I bought from Mr. B, I was looking for some yarn to make some socks for my granddad, because when we were in Wales with him, he took a bit of an interest in my knitting. They do occasionally watch the podcast, so if you're watching this, don't listen any further. You're just going to have to stop watching this episode, because, yeah, just stop watching. I'll give you a few seconds. Just turn it off. Okay, so Grandad expressed a bit of an interest in my hand knit socks, and I thought it would be really nice to maybe knit him a pair for Christmas. And I asked him what colour he wanted, and he said beige. I was thinking, I can't just knit a beige pair of socks. It would bore me to death. So I was on the lookout for something which was mostly beige, but maybe with a bit of speckling. And I kept coming back to Mr. B's yarn. I was looking around a few different stalls with like a really specific thing in mind. And I came across their Merlin colourway. And it's on their Hiddleston 4-ply base, which I've used to knit socks before. Works up really well. And I absolutely love it. So it's mostly like a neutrally beige with speckles of like greens and browns and blues. A little bit of pinky red as well. But it's quite, I saw like a little sample of it knit up, and I think it's going to make a really nice pair of socks that won't be too crazy looking. So yeah, this is hopefully going to be some socks for my granddad. I don't know whether I'll do some just plain vanilla or just like a lightly textured pattern, or maybe just a ribbed sock. Maybe ribbed might be good. So yeah, those were my purchases from Mr. B's yarn. Then I of course had to go to Fruitful Fusion, who the dyer behind is my lovely friend Ishrat, who I think is based in Nottingham, and I hadn't met her before, but we have spoken online quite a bit, and I have bought a couple of skeins of her yarn before, but this was the first time seeing it in person. And I was trying to mostly buy DK weight, because I have quite a lot of sock weight yarns, but I'd quite like to do some more things with DK. So this is on her DK base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this is the Tidal Wave colourway. And it's just gorgeous. This, like, I don't know if it's getting blown out a bit, looking a bit bluer on the screen, but it's like this gorgeous deep teal, and some like muted bluey grey sections. It's just beautiful. Look at this bit. I love it. So I was on a bit of a green kick, it looks like. Considering my next purchase, I had to go to Dusty Dimples, And I saw Dusty Dimples at Unravel in February, but I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to make with her yarn, and I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional with my purchases. And I was having a look at her DK this time, and this one just grabbed me and I couldn't put it down. And it's DK Sparkle. It's a Sparkle DK base, and looks like you get 110 grams and 212 meters, so that's quite generous. And this is the Nelly Pot colourway, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's got these gorgeous, it's like an aquary greeny blue speckles. It's so pretty. I was trying to think of I was hoping to maybe do a hat design in this at some point. Well, that'd be really pretty. I just really want to make hats. I love making hats, especially out of DK. So it's going to be hats this year. I'm going to do hat designs, I think. And then I also went to the lovely Hannah of Chromatic Yarns and the Corner of Craft. And I've had my eye on a couple of her colourways before, but I thought it would be really, really nice to see them in person. And this one, I think all of her yarns are on BFL, which is really, really nice. And it's really soft as well for a BFL. It's like, sometimes BFL can feel a little bit more rustic, but this feels really soft and quite smooth actually. And this, I had to get, I thought this would be really nice for socks at some point. And it's her Tressim colourway. All of the colourways based on Dungeons and Dragons, monsters and characters and things. And this one is, I think you pronounce it Tressim, and I think it's a flying cat. I'm pretty sure she said it was a flying cat. So I was really excited to get my first chromatic yarns. I just really love sort of the earthy grey tones in this. I'm really excited to see how it knits up as well. So yeah, this would be really good for socks. Could use it for anything though. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what it wants to be. But I had to bring it with me. So, and then I also bought the little dragon progress keeper. And this, which matches the dragon, I knew I wanted to get a little avocado from her. So yeah, there you go. You can see the sort of like the iridescent, is that the word? It's kind of sparkly. Sparkly avocado is genius. Because the skins of avocados do look like this. They completely do. Ooh. But yeah, I knew I had to get an avocado. I'm so glad I did. I haven't found a project for it yet. Because I don't want to just take all the progress keepers off my existing projects. Maybe it could go on the little socks. Sorry, crinkling. Maybe it could go on there. We'll see. But I just wanted to show you how it completely matches the dragon. They are matching. Hang on. Oh. Because they both got the little same. Oh my goodness, stop it. Right, you go there. There. They both got the same like iridescent beads on the light green. So yeah, I got a matching dragon and avocado. So So I had a bit of a green theme going on. Because at one point I think I had bought these things. And it sort of matches as well. So, but yeah, I think I've been going on like long enough now. But yeah. I don't know if I will have included some footage of when we visited Wales at the beginning or the end. I've got a little bit of footage of Yarningham. I tried to take a little bit of footage, but I just get carried away at events and just get caught up enjoying myself and spending time with friends. So sorry I haven't included very much, but I'll include the little snippets that I did manage to take. Either you'll have seen it at the beginning or it'll be at the end. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this episode with me. I really hope you've enjoyed what I've shown you, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, don't forget, if you do enjoy it, if you want to be notified of future episodes, please subscribe to my channel, and you can click on the little bell icon. That will notify you, like send you notifications when I put out a new episode. And please do like the episode if you did enjoy it, because that does help my channel get out there to other viewers. So I would really appreciate it. I don't normally ask for people to like and subscribe, but yeah, please do. It does help, and yeah, it will help other people who might enjoy the channel to find the podcast. Because I know I like to try and discover new podcasts, and it's quite difficult sometimes when you get stuck in a loop and you want to discover some new ones. Yeah, it's sometimes quite difficult to find out what to search, so I often look at the suggested ones at the side of the episodes that I watch. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm rambling and I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely couple of knitty weeks until I speak to you again soon, and yeah, bye. you.